Good morning, you guys, and welcome to our video. My name is Paola, and you guys know me from the times that I've been in the Zoom calls. I mostly work with the Marlins, but I pop in every once in a while in your Zoom calls. And today we're going to be talking about COVID-19 safety. The benefits of understanding safety is that being that we are now in a pandemic, we are now at a state in which we need to maintain safety for ourselves and for the people around us. This is something that not many of us have ever experienced before. So this is relatively new information that we should all understand, be aware of, because we now have to follow what is now called the new normal. Carla set up this PowerPoint talking about COVID-19 safety, and we're just going to go through a couple of the guidelines today on mostly understand during this time of our lives and to be safe.
What we have in front of us right now is what is considered to be a virus. So this is any common virus, but in this case, since we are talking about COVID-19, we are going to look at what is COVID-19. So COVID-19 is an illness that is caused by a virus that could spread from person to person. And since this is a new virus, this is a new way of us trying to understand something that we don't know. And because of trying to understand something that we don't know, we have to follow these guidelines on how to keep the people around us safe and how to keep ourselves safe. You're actually also gonna see a demonstration of Avery and I going into the community setting, which we will be going to a store to buy some of the things that we need for an activity, but we will be following CDC standards and what we learned in this presentation in our video that you will watch today. So stick around.
Definitely the first thing we should notice in this picture that was found in the miami-dade.gov website is one of the safety precautions that we can take for preventing COVID-19 or the coronavirus is to stay at home. Thousands of people are being infected every day by this, so it's better and safer to stay at home, and should only leave for getting essentials, going to the doctors or the pharmacy, getting gas, getting food, and buying groceries. It's very, very, very important to understand that we should not gather in groups unless we can practice social distancing. I've always been told that we should gather in groups less than 10 people. See here, there's several people in one area, and we don't see one very important thing here, which is masks. If we're going to be around other people, we need to be wearing masks. But that's going to be our next point. But the first thing we should know is that we are safer at home. And here's going to be another thing that we should practice as we are home. Let's read this together, shall we? We are understanding what ways that we can stay safer while we are at home. It's very important to keep a clean house. And if people are coming in and out of the house, make sure as soon as somebody comes in, have them wash their hands. If we read this together, you'll see that we should clean and disinfect frequently touched objects and surfaces. Frequently touched objects and surfaces. What are these? These are the different surfaces that are touched daily. Tables, desks, countertops, doorknobs, and handles. These are things we touch every day. Most of the time when we're in and out of rooms, we go in and we open the door, we use a doorknob. When we turn on and off the TV, We use a control, which is frequently touched by everyone around the house. We put our hands on the tables. We especially put our hands on our phones and the keyboards at home. Toilets. And when we talk about toilets, we also talk about the handle that we use to flush the toilet. We disinfect those as well. Faucets and sinks. Remember how I was saying that as soon as somebody comes from outdoors, we should wash our hands, and when we wash our hands, we touch the knobs, the sink knobs. These are very important to frequently disinfect on a daily basis because these are things that we touch every day and can easily gain contact from these things that we touch every day. You see the light switch? We should disinfect those. And look what she has in her hand, or he. Look what they have in their hand. Disinfectant spray. And what are they wiping down? You guessed it, a doorknob, which is a frequently touched surface by mostly everyone in the house. Wash your hands frequently and thoroughly. This is all part of the new normal. And what you see here is a visual of someone who is washing their hands. If you guys notice that they have their fingers crossed, which is a way that we can wash our hands thoroughly. Now, it is very important to wash your hands at least 20 seconds with soap and water, not under the faucet, but outside the faucet. We should run our hands through the soap and rub our hands together for at least 20 seconds. Now, 20 seconds can easily be an ABC song. If you sing the ABCs, that's 20 seconds. You sing the ABCs completely. Or Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. If we sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star completely, that's enough times for 20 seconds to have gone by and for the bacteria that are found in our hands to be removed with the soap, to be washed under the water. So, washing your hands often. This is a very important safety measure. When should we wash our hands? We should wash our hands normally before eating or prepping your food, before touching your face, and we'll go back to touching your face and why we shouldn't touch our face now more than ever. We should wash our hands after using the bathroom. We should wash our hands after leaving a public space. So if we are outdoors and we come back home, remember how I said we should wash our hands as soon as we come back from the outdoors? Well, after leaving a public space, we should wash our hands. And very important, after blowing your nose, coughing, or sneezing, you should definitely wash your hands. What do we see in this picture? Yes, we see gloves, but we also see soap. We see one kind of mask, which looks to be like a K95 mask. And we also have a medical mask. Very important into making sure that we stay safe and we're washing our hands often. Our next safety tip, which I believe to be one of the most important safety tips that we should have, definitely is wearing our masks. Should we wear our masks, you guys? The answer is for our safety and for the safety around us, wear a mask. This guy seems to have like a cloth-like mask. But we're going to look at the different kind of masks we could have. Like I said, wearing our facial masks, adhering to the new normal, different kinds of face masks. Remember that guy had something like this? That seems to be like a cloth mask. You can have a fashionable mask that can have different designs that you like. Doesn't have to necessarily be this one. The ones I recommend most would be the medical masks that have, and make sure you guys, please, if you're wearing your medical masks, please, this is like a bendable metal that is by our nose area. When we place our masks in, kind of pinch this around your nose so it can get the shape of your nose, so you can be wearing it correctly. And an N95 mask. Remember how it also has a thing in the nose, which is like a metal. It is a metal part that you can find in the nose of the mask, and you can bend it to the shape of your nose to better insulate your breath or keep your everything inside. Whether you sneeze or you cough, this helps us keep it inside so we're not infecting or spreading the cough to other people. To mention also, you guys, is that we might be short of these kinds of masks since a lot of people are buying these in particular, but you don't have to have this one. As long as you have a face covering according to the CDC, you should be just fine as long as you cover your face. These are going to be a little bit harder to find, but worry not that these are still available in a lot of the stores that you go to. You can make your own as well, just like these, with
More
some
than
good
ever, you
stitches.
guys,
Remember how I was talking about not avoiding touching your eyes and your face, rather? This is very, very important. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. This is very hard because these are things that we're used to doing because it's our body. But if we are outdoors touching things, avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth because if, let's say, the coronavirus is on a surface and it is in your hands, right? If we touch our face, we are directly linking whatever is in our fingers onto our body, which will go into our body and get us sick. And we don't want that. So please, avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. And if you have to bite your fingers, nails, or anything like that, just do your best to try to wash your hands before. But please avoid this. My favorite COVID safety tip that I feel is very, 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 very important for yourself, especially. Even though it says it may not be for you, it is for everyone. It is also for yourself. Let's talk kinds of people. And we're also looking at those who are in high risk. When we talk about those that are COVID-19 high risk, we're talking about people who are more likely to catch COVID-19. So it's not necessarily their fault that they catch COVID-19, but these are people that are more likely to catch it if we do not social distance, if we do not wear our masks, if we do not wash our hands. These are the people that are high risk and can be more harmed by COVID-19. We see three types of people here, but only one are wearing masks. Is this correct? The answer is no. That is not correct. Everyone here should be wearing a mask, but these are the people who are at high risk. Those with weakened immune systems. When we talk about weakened immune systems, it could be those that have a deficiency or they have certain parts of their body that are not working as well as they should. these are weakened immune systems, where the person is just relatively a little bit weaker and they have to practice more safe standards in making sure that they don't contract COVID-19 or the coronavirus. Who else is at high risk of COVID-19? The elderly, 65 years or older. These population, they are more at higher risk of developing very serious complications if they get COVID-19. Why is that? Because adults that are older, like the elderly, tend to have more underlying chronic conditions. So underlying conditions can be something in the heart, something like a lung disease or diabetes. Remember, like here, we were talking about weakened immune systems, parts that are just not working as well as they should. Well, the elderly tend to have more underlying conditions that would be more complicated if they were to get the COVID-19, which is why it's so important to social distance. And last but not least, women who are pregnant. Women who are pregnant are carrying a child in their belly. So they are being a life source for two different people, themselves and their baby. And if we happen to get the mom sick, or if someone accidentally were to be in contact with a pregnant woman, it would cause complications for her and for her baby as well. So we want to make sure that we are social distancing, because it may not be just for you. It is for you. Don't misunderstand that. It is for you, but it is also for everyone, especially those who are at higher risk, like the elderly, those with weakened immune systems, and women who are pregnant.
Okay, guys, and now that we are understanding what it means to be safe during this pandemic and how we can keep ourselves safe and those around us safe, next we're going to try to implement these safety skills that we've learned today. So we are going to practice COVID safety, social distancing, and wearing our masks in a community setting. Watch Avery and I go on an adventure to make sure that we're safe while buying things in a store. See you real soon.
Hey guys! So, as I said before, Avery and I will be practicing our COVID safety skills, and what we learned in this video today, we are going to implement it in a real life setting on our way to a store in a community setting. So what you guys see here is Avery and I in a car. In this car, we are already well aware of what we are going to buy prior to getting off the car. Prior to leaving the house, we are aware that we know what we're going to buy, we know what we're going out for, and we understand that we should move at a relatively quicker pace because we shouldn't really just be out for too long, honestly. So here you can see that Avery and I already in the car before leaving have our masks on. And what you see here is the hand sanitizer. We are out, ready to go into the community. Now, before I start, I want you guys to be aware of your surroundings. So when we are shopping in a store, we have to follow directions on the floor or directions around us, words around us that will guide us to a more safer time in a store. Mind you, stores have reopened and they're supposed to be following CDC or Center of Disease Control guidelines to hosting a lot of people. So remember, as I said, we are watching out for signs that are going to lead us to the correct path that the store is laid out with. We're going to look for signs around us to making sure that we are keeping a safe social distance. We're keeping an eye on the surroundings, meaning the people and the signs around us. And we're just going to make sure that we are practicing the safe guidelines to being out during the time in which COVID-19 has been. Okay, guys. So remember, in this moment, we are going to keep an eye on signs that we see around us that are going to guide us to the direction in which we need to walk. CDC ordinances now require us like a one-way entrance and a one-way exit. We're going to keep an eye on the people around us. We're going to keep an eye on what we need. We're also going to keep an eye of making sure that we are keeping a safe social distance from other people. So from here, just watching this video a little, I could tell you a couple things. Avery has his mask on, and that's good. The woman in front of him also has her mask on. This is also very good because this is a way to making sure that ourselves and the people around us are safe in any case that you might unknowingly have COVID, which you don't know that you have COVID. Essentially, if you decide to cough or sneeze, it'll stay within your mask. So this is good. Even the gentleman behind her is wearing a face mask to making sure that people around us are staying safe. So let's keep going. That says, all customers must wear facial coverings while shopping in our store. So the person in the video noticed that too. Same thing here. Due to local ordinances, all people are required to wear masks or face coverings. This is also very good to making sure that we are aware of our surroundings. Let's see if we see any markings on the ground that would show us how we should be standing. So we will also notice, right here, you guys see the marking here? That's where that guy is, where he should be waiting in a line. And we also see an employee stationed in the front of the store. Here, sorry about that, guys. In the front of the store. The person who is usually at the front of any store is there because in the case that anybody walking in, like we are walking in, without a mask, if anybody that's walking in without a mask are asked to leave. So that if you decide to go into a store without a face mask, you have to leave until you have a face mask. And that's why she's there, and making sure that everybody that comes in has a face mask. Let's keep going. And if you happen to have forgotten your sanitizer, that's okay. Because often at times, public places will have them. That we should notice here, you guys, is the marking on the ground. That is showing the 6 feet ordinance that is in each of the stores. You see? This is a good guide to see if we are following 6 feet. Look at the ground, and it'll show it. Now that we are done shopping, we are going to keep also a safe distance in line as well. If you guys ever have any doubts as to whether you are keeping a safe distance in line, keep in mind, a shopping cart is a 6 feet distance between the person in front of you and the person behind you. If you see that there's a box on the ground that shows how you should keep a distance from the person in front of you and the person behind you. You see that distance? Also, I want you guys to notice the glass that's right in front of the employee.
Avery is standing right in front of the plexiglass, providing himself protection and making sure the employee is protected in any case that there's unintentional exposure. So, Avery is keeping a distance from the person behind him and is paying with card, as you can tell. Going back into the car, now that everything is said and done, we are making sure, putting on our sanitizer, ready for business. We made sure to put on our sanitizer before we leave the car, and as soon as we go into the car, we made sure to put on our sanitizer once again. This is to make sure that anything that we touched in the store that might have contained any virus or might have contained anything that could have made us sick, this will eradicate that, and making sure that our hands are sanitized, disinfected, and we can carry on with our day. As you can tell, it was fast, simple, easy. Avery and I were watching our surroundings, and Avery and I were making sure that we had our mask on and followed all the rules of the store. Hello you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for participating in the presentation that Carla and I created on COVID safety. In this presentation, we learned a little bit about how to keep ourselves and the people around us safe, how to go out into a community setting and shop for things that we may need in the middle of a pandemic. Things are now different and we have to accustom to a new normal. So we now urge you to do research on your own in the sense of visit your CDC website, visit your miami-dade.gov website, your local website, and just educate yourself more on what is COVID-19, how to stay safe. We hope that you benefited from this presentation and learned a lot of safety skills and how to implement it in the way that Avery and I implemented them in the community video. Now, I did want to share with you guys the common symptoms of coronavirus, which would be fever and chills, shortness of breath or difficulties breathing, and there is also a cough. If you have a strong or a very phlegmy cough, those are also symptoms of coronavirus. And if you feel any of the symptoms that are shown in the CDC website or in the miami-dade.gov website, there are resources, local resources that you guys can look into to get tested or to remain isolated from everyone if you need to, if needed. If you don't feel any of the symptoms, it's just safe to stay at home and let this all take its course and read the news, pay attention to the news, and just see what's going on around us, be aware of all these things. Thank you guys for coming and watching this video, and I hope you benefited from it and learned something new. See you guys later.